Number 10. Colleen. The YouTuber recently broke her silence to address the accusations that have been made against her, namely that she fostered inappropriate relationships with her underage fans. Over the last couple of weeks, several of them have come forward to share the uncomfortable experiences they had with her when they were teenagers, and now they've leveled some pretty strong allegations against her. Since then, the backlash has only escalated, and it became so much worse every day that Colleen stayed silent. She then released a response video in the form of a 10-minute long song while she was playing the ukulele. While people were relieved to finally hear from her, the decision to address everything in the form of a song was criticized as bizarre and a huge misstep. She starts off by saying, "I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. A lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. It doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you." She explains that while she has been advised against responding to the claims by her team, she then realized that they never said that she couldn't sing what she wanted to say. Colleen launches into her toxic gossip train song and tries to address all the claims, which somehow only amount to one big denial. Number 9. Sienna May. Sienna May Gomez, a hugely popular California-based TikToker, was accused of predatory behavior by her former friend and fellow TikTok star Jack Wright. It took months for Jack to come forward and properly tell his story, but in January of 2022, he posted a video titled "What Sienna May Did to Me," where he described 4 occasions where she touched him without consent. A few of those times were when he was unconscious, which was all captured on video, which did in fact show him to be inebriated to the point of being asleep or otherwise incapacitated. In response, Sienna went on to say that she was in love with him and said that he did not feel the same way towards her. She said that the passion she felt for him is now being misconstrued as desperation and possessiveness. The 19-year-old took a break from social media. She then posted a video upon her return last year. The video saw her sharing her perspective in the aftermath of the controversy. She talked about her purpose in life and did an interpretive dance to one of Sam Smith's songs. She said, "Even if I can only inspire one person, I will have done what I was put on this earth to do." She then breaks into a dance and starts spinning across the room. And yes, it is as ridiculous as it sounds. Number 8. Laura Lee. The American vlogger shot to fame after starting her beauty YouTube channel, giving makeup and hair tutorials and posting lifestyle videos. In 2018, she received immense backlash on social media after a series of racist tweets that she had posted 6 years prior ended up resurfacing. In the fallout, Laura lost over 500,000 followers, and her makeup line was dropped by Ulta Beauty. In a statement, Ulta said, "We have decided not to move forward with the launch of Laura Lee Los Angeles. Ulta Beauty values equality and inclusivity in all that we do." Sunglass company Diff also removed her collection from their website. Laura then took to her channel for redemption in the form of a 4-minute long tearful apology video where she pleaded with fans to only direct their anger towards her and claimed that her family had been attacked over the backlash. She said, "I'm so sorry for disappointing you. It hurts me so bad to disappoint you all who have supported me for so many years. I know that I'm better than that person." But right away, viewers called out her fake tears. Laura tried to act as if she was truly sorry, but the whole thing came off as a bit inauthentic. And she was clearly only sorry that she had gotten caught. Due to the negative reception, she took down the video and eventually replaced it with an official statement. Number 7. Will Smith. Most people don't know that the award-winning actor is also a YouTuber. He's collaborated with other YouTubers over the years like Lily Singh, and he was a frontman for YouTube Rewind in 2018. Also, he vlogs and produces original content on his channel, so he definitely counts. In August last year, Will addressed the slap that occurred at the Oscars and said that he's finally ready to talk with Chris Rock. While the apology could have been genuine, the production of this video made it seem like it was a PR stunt to try to make sure his image isn't fully tarnished. It left many people wondering, why now? Considering the infamous slap took place 4 months prior, and he had been pretty silent about the incident ever since. In the video, Will spoke about why he didn't apologize to Rock in his Oscars acceptance speech, and he said, "I was fogged out by that point, it was all fuzzy." He explained that he did reach out to Chris, but says the comedian was not ready to talk yet. Will went on to defend Jada and deny rumors that she was the one who had urged him to go on stage. Quote, "Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I want to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us." Number 6. Tana Mongeau. This influencer is always knee-deep in drama. Tana has been involved in too many controversies to name, but her most infamous one might just be TanaCon, a YouTube convention where she charged 20,000 fans $65 each to see her at a venue that could only hold 5,000 people. Most were left outside, unable to get into the event that they paid for. Multiple people criticized the event, which received widespread media coverage. There was also many comedic videos making fun of drama of the event and the general lack of preparedness. The Verge said that fans were comparing it to Fyre Fest, and many were yelling out the words refund. Overall, the situation at TanaCon was really what turned a lot of people against her. Not only were they hurt and sunburnt, but it was just so disorganized to the point where people wanted answers. Eventually, Tana had to appear on Shane Dawson's channel just so she could explain herself. Though she was caught somewhat bragging on social media when she heard that so many people had attended, but she didn't dare to ask, are they even okay? Eventually, she apologized multiple times for the massive error in judgment, which was mostly down to creating this convention during the same week as VidCon. Number 5. Jeffree Star. The beauty guru and mega influencer has apologized way too many times to the point that it's just so hard to catch up. After all, he tends to surround himself with a lot of drama. In one video, he explained that he no longer wants to expose James Charles in what people call Dramageddon. He said that he no longer wanted to be the same toxic person that he was in the past. But the thing is, this is something that he has repeated in several apology videos, and he's never really managed to stick to it. He posted another apology in 2020, where he said that he wanted to be a better person. So after a while, fans were incredibly frustrated. After all, it's just empty words, and what's really the point of apologizing if you're just going to be making the same mistake? Jeffree's YouTube following includes more than 15.9 million subscribers, which he has amassed in the 12 years since he's been on the platform. But he's also brought scandal after scandal to the beauty community, especially after evidence came out of him using racist language as well as incriminating old photos being brought to light. He's also been accused of manipulating other creators and people close to him for his benefit. Number 4. Atrioc. Recently, a Twitch streamer known as Cutie Cinderella online had fake images of her spread all over the web. Then chaos erupted when fellow Twitch streamer Atrioc got caught purchasing these explicit deepfakes of her. To make matters worse, he was her friend and a trusted colleague. He was playing a video game on Twitch, and without thinking, he clicked out of the tab for just a second, but it was long enough for viewers to see what he was actually looking at. Well, he was on an adult website watching a deepfake video of Cutie Cinderella. Atrioc then issued a tearful apology, because not only was he caught buying explicit content that depicted his longtime friend, but he's also a married man. And in his apology video, he had his wife in the background crying along with him. It was a complete disaster. He tried to explain that he had recently taken an interest in AI and said that he had found the explicit site through ads. He said, "This is so embarrassing. I got morbidly curious and I clicked something. It's gross and I'm sorry." But the damage had already been done. Amidst the growing controversy, he announced that he would be taking some time away from streaming and stepping away from his duties as co-founder of Off-Brand. Number 3. Tara Lynn. A TikTok influencer who goes by the name Tara's World recently garnered a ton of scrutiny when she made a video asking if anyone had a job and saying all of her friends stay in bed all day. She spoke to her 4.8 million followers from inside her car and criticized the apparent lack of work ethic from people around her. She claimed that she noticed this from the photos that they post on an app called Be Real. She said, "This Be Real could go off at 11 AM, 1 PM, 3 PM, it doesn't matter, everyone's in bed. There is an alarming amount of people every time that Be Real goes off that are just in bed with the shades drawn. Why are you in bed? It seems like no one wants to work. Get your effing ass up and work." Tara then described herself as the most productive person ever and wrote in the caption that she's not a hater, but the whole thing is just funny. The video was viewed around 5 million times, and you can guess what everyone's reaction was. Many people labeled her comments as BS, given that she's a professional influencer, which is a career that many don't consider to be a real job. Amidst the growing backlash, Tara then tried to backpedal and released a video saying that she was just joking and talking about her own friends. But by that point, she was already cancelled. Number 2. David Dobrik. The popular YouTuber was well known for his funny videos and his famous vlog squad of an entourage, but his squeaky clean image was called into question when Seth Francois, a former member of his influencer crew, accused David of disturbing levels of deceit when he claimed that he was tricked into kissing someone without his consent. The incident is pretty messed up. Seth was under the impression that he was about to kiss a female member of the group, who was supposedly hiding under a mask, when in reality it was Jason Nash, a 48-year-old man. For Seth, this was an extremely traumatic moment and one that was posted to YouTube for millions to see. And who was behind the whole prank? You guessed it, David Dobrik. A few days after that story came out, Trisha Paytas revealed her own uncomfortable experience with David. On her Frenemies podcast, she recalled a time when he filmed her naked without consent. She asked him not to post the video to YouTube, but he did, and he tried to frame it as a prank. In the weeks that followed, even more disturbing allegations came out. As a result, he lost many fans and major partnership deals, like HelloFresh, DoorDash, General Mills, HBO Max, Facebook, and Audible. David's fall from grace was swift, and even though his his YouTube account is still active to this day, he lost a large chunk of his fan base and has not been able to recover from the scandal. And coming in at number 1, Jordan Cheyenne. At the height of her success, Jordan's YouTube channel had over 500,000 subscribers. She was extremely popular in the influencer community for her girl boss advice and weight loss meal plans. All of this until she posted the now viral video of her son crying about the death of their family dog. It was titled "We Are Heartbroken." The thing is, she made one terrible mistake and included an unedited clip of her coaching her young son Christian to cry for the thumbnail. In the disturbing video, you can see the child was already very upset and on the verge of tears, and he tells her that he was already crying. He tells her that he was already crying and he didn't need to pretend for the camera, but she felt that he didn't look sad enough and instructed him to make a certain face for the video. Jordan could be heard saying, "Act like you're crying," even after he said, "Mom, I'm actually crying." The backlash that she received after that clip went viral was insane. Jordan then scrubbed her social media accounts and deleted her YouTube channel altogether. She eventually returned to the platform in January with a video titled "I was cancelled worldwide and my life changed forever." She claimed that the deep sadness she felt over the incident caused her world to crumble, but no one was really buying her sincerity. So Trisha Paytas has now released a 21-minute video responding to the allegations about Colleen. The two of them had been working on a new podcast this year, and they've also known each other for years. In her video, Trisha addressed the allegations that Colleen would send her nude photos to underage fans, unsolicited. Fans have also claimed that she would make fun of Trisha behind her back, and in the video, Trisha confirmed this to be true. She also said that it wasn't just one occasion, that there were multiple times that she sent different photos of her. She said, "These weren't a long time ago. This is someone well into their 30s who just gave birth sending nudes. A month prior, I was in her house meeting her newborn and doing a mukbang with her." She went on to say that the entire situation is embarrassing and that hearing all this horrible stuff about her body is a lot. Trisha acknowledges that while she is on OnlyFans and that's a job that she chose, it never feels good to have someone just make fun of her naked body. She said, "It's just a vulnerable thing. It's a little embarrassing if I'm being honest, but I'm more embarrassed that this is the kind of person that she is. Sending these to fans unsolicited, the context of which she is sending these, I don't get the purpose. I don't know if there was an inside joke that I'm missing." Trisha also said that she confronted Colleen and asked about the allegations, but she only got denial. Colleen basically denied that she ever did anything. She assured Trisha that she had never sent photos of her to anyone and that everything was being taken out of context. Trisha said, "I don't stand behind Colleen whatsoever. Her video was not an apology, and it took away from the severity of her actions of talking to minors, bringing them back on stage at her show. These people are speaking up and they're uncomfortable for a reason. Acknowledge it, change it, do better." She clarified that they weren't close friends, but they were friendly and they got along with each other when they would see each other. Although apparently she wasn't aware of the most recent allegations that have come out. And the response to Trisha's latest video has been overwhelmingly positive, with many fans leaving supportive comments thanking her for coming out with her story. One person wrote, "Regardless of her past, there's no justifying what Colleen did to her. How evil can you be? Absolutely disgusted. I'm so sorry this happened, Trisha." Another person wrote, "I'm not a Trisha follower, but I felt sick when I heard Colleen was making body-shaming jokes at her expense. That's an extremely vile thing to do to someone that cares about you. As someone who's been backstabbed a lot, I feel for Trisha. Hope you can recover from this soon." In the week since the allegations first came out, fans were on the edge of their seats waiting for Trisha's response to the news. At first it seemed like she was going to defend her friend and collaborator. She posted a religious quote which seemed to have been about forgiveness. On her Instagram story she wrote, "Always pray to have eyes that see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God." From the outside, it looks as though she was continually supporting Colleen even though she was going through one of the biggest controversies of her career. In fact, there's been another bombshell report that surfaced about her on the set of her Netflix series Haters Back Off. April Keogh was an assistant writer working on the show, and she's now opened up about her experience working with Colleen in a blog called "You Owe Me an Apology." She wrote, "Upon meeting Colleen, my first impression of her was that she was boisterous, opinionated, and had a stunning lack of humility that was unlike anything I had ever seen. Immediately upon entering the writer's room, I was treated to story after story about her sold-out shows, how obsessed her fans were with her, and the lengths they would go to get her attention. Apparently, she had a knack for making biting comments about the people around her, and since all these writers had her to thank for their jobs, they were all forced to just go with it. Quote, she saw no issue with commenting on my hair, or my clothes, or asking about my personal life. Her lack of boundaries was remarkable." April claims that Colleen often pitched stories in which Miranda and Uncle Jim would be caught in compromising positions or moments of intimacy. She said, "It all felt deeply wrong. She would show us photos of the packed rows of smiling children who had attended the show the night before, and in the same breath spent hours trying to think of ways to show Miranda and Uncle Jim all but having an intimate scene on screen." Coming to the accusations of inappropriate behavior, April says that she stands with everyone who has spoken out against her in the past few weeks. She finished off the post by saying, "In the face of attacks from online gaslighters and bizarre, callous ukulele soundtrack response videos, they deserve to be supported, heard, and believed." So, Colleen Ballinger's ukulele video has sparked a ton of wild reactions and memes on social media. 2 days ago, she broke her silence on social media for the first time. She was addressing accusations that had been made against her, namely that she fostered inappropriate relationships with her underage fans. Over the last couple of weeks, several of them came forward to share the uncomfortable experiences they had with her when they were a teenager, and now they've leveled some pretty strong allegations against her. Since then, the backlash has only escalated, and it became so much worse every day that Colleen stayed silent. She then released a response video in the form of a 10-minute song while playing the ukulele. While people were relieved to finally hear from her, the decision to address everything in the form of a song was criticized as bizarre and a huge misstep. She starts off by singing, "I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. A lot of people are saying some stuff about me that aren't quite true. It doesn't matter if it is true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you." She then explains that she's been advised against responding to the claims by her team, and she then realized that they never said that she couldn't sing it. Colleen then launches into her toxic gossip train song and tries to address all the claims at once, which only amount to one big denial. As you could pretty much expect, people did not appreciate this kind of response. The allegations are just way too serious for her to try to put them in a song. The comments on the video are not great either. Yes, there are people who've left some positive messages like her fans, but most people have not held back in their reactions. They wrote things like, "I cannot believe this is real," and "an apology without an apology." Another person wrote, "You mean to tell me she wrote, rehearsed, sat down to film this, and still thought it was a good idea? Girl, you're delusional." As well as the criticism, a ton of memes have started flooding the internet. People just can't seem to wrap their head around the bizarre decision to turn the whole thing into a song. One of the best ones is a clip from Victorious where Kat Valentine bursts out into song. At the same time, the people around her are dead silent. The caption says, "Colleen Ballinger after her PR team told her not to speak on the controversy." Another golden one is the confused reaction face from one of her accusers, Adam McIntyre, with the caption, "Literally everyone when Colleen Ballinger brought out the ukulele." But there were also some very serious criticisms of this whole thing. One person tweeted, "The Colleen Ballinger non-apology seems to be taking a page from David Dobrik's response to our Vlog Squad investigation in 2021. She posted it to her third channel and said, 'My team didn't want me to do this.' It's fascinating how YouTubers copy each other's bad crisis PR." The best part about all of this though is that Adam released an identical looking response video yesterday where he was also strumming a ukulele, and it just shines light on how bad her idea really was, even though she clearly put a lot of effort into the song. While singing, she says, "I'm sure you're disappointed in my little song. I know you wanted me to say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take that route of admitting to lies and rumors that you made up for clout." Colleen insists that the only thing she's ever groomed is her 2 Persian cats, and she says she's just a loser who didn't understand that she shouldn't respond to fans, claiming that all of these theories boil down to a fart joke that she made like 5 years ago. She explained that early on in her YouTube career she used to message her fans a lot, though she says that it wasn't in a creepy way but more in a loser kind of way. She said she was just trying to be besties with everyone, but that sounds like she was trying to downplay what she would actually send into those group chats, which were full of her 13 to 16-year-old fans. Someone shared screenshots of messages that she sent where she was asking them to come for a sleepover. She also asked some highly inappropriate questions like when they got their first period and what their favorite position was. To add to that, Adam McIntyre claimed that Colleen would trauma dump on him all the time, giving him intimate details about the ins and outs of her marriage with Joshua David Evans. Speaking of Joshua, he has now posted a response which sounds like he's encouraging his ex-wife to come clean. The post said, "In the midst of chaos and pain, remember to protect the goodness within yourself. Choose healthy ways of coping. Choose humility over winning. Choose the version of you that you can be proud of. You don't have to be perfect to do the right thing." It's difficult to know what he actually meant by this, so for now we'll just have to say that it's up for interpretation. And now YouTuber Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings, has been cancelled yet again. But these latest allegations are extremely serious. She's been accused of manipulating, bullying, and taking advantage of her underage fans. The allegations first rose in 2020 when a former fan named Adam McIntyre released a shocking video on YouTube. He called out Colleen's behavior and talked about the inappropriate and toxic friendship he had with her when he was 13 and she was in her 30s. They first connected during a live stream that she was hosting with her friend and fellow YouTuber Corey DeSoto in 2016. Apparently, she noticed Adam's tweets and said that he was so funny that she had to send him something. She then allegedly sent him lingerie in the mail, which his mother confiscated immediately. They allegedly continued their friendship, and she even asked him out to lunch while she was in Ireland, which is where he lives. Sadly though, when his video first came out, Adam was met with a ton of backlash from other fans, all jumping in to defend their favorite creator, probably because Colleen has something of a cult following that she developed over the years for her on-screen character Miranda Sings. But with more information coming to light, the allegations have resurfaced again. Adam posted another video last week exposing some of the inappropriate conversations that she had with underage fans. She pretty much seemed to manipulate and bully them into doing free labor. These conversations were taken from a group chat that Adam and Colleen were both a part of, and the evidence is pretty shocking. In one instance, she asked him for a photo of his butt. She also asked female fans to describe their first period and made fun of a fan who got a tattoo in her honor. At the time of these conversations, Colleen was already in her 30s, and a majority of the people in the chat were supposedly aged between 14 and 16. But she still made inappropriate comments about their physical appearance, encouraging bullying and asking really creepy questions. Adam also described one incident where Colleen invited him to visit her in Dublin, only to end up ghosting him after repeatedly giving him incorrect directions. Apparently, she was annoyed when she found out that his parents would be going with him, never mind the fact that he was only 14 at the time, and he was then practically abandoned in a city he didn't know. Adam claimed that she would also use love bombing to make him feel special by praising and encouraging him to run her social media accounts without pay. But this would ultimately lead to the end of their friendship when Adam posted something on her account that caused a lot of controversy. He insisted that she had approved of the post beforehand, but when she got criticized for it, she completely ghosted him and blamed him for the negative reactions. Sadly, when Adam first came out with all of these allegations in 2020, he was largely bullied off of social media. Now, almost 3 years later, people are actually giving him the time of day to talk about what happened. Many former fans have now apologized to him for dismissing his initial claims. Instead, they've made an effort to uplift him on social media and show their support. Colleen has yet to comment on all of these allegations, but realistically, there's not much she can say at this stage to defend herself. Adam has already presented actual receipts from these interactions, and people are really rallying to his side. It's actually very difficult to picture how she's going to get herself out of this one, because there's just no reasonable explanation she could have for any of this. In the past, she's found herself in quite a few controversies, ranging from racist caricatures to fatphobic comments, which she finally addressed all in one jam-packed apology video. Resurfaced videos from around 15 years ago showed her mocking Latina stereotypes. Then in another video, she went on a rant about a plus-size woman who sat next to her on an airplane. Colleen then addressed all these controversies in a video and called them all stupid mistakes. She started off by admitting that the characters that she and her sister played were completely based in racial stereotypes. She said, "It's not funny and it's completely hurtful. I'm so ashamed and embarrassed that I ever thought this was okay. I was a sheltered teenager who was stupid and ignorant and clearly extremely culturally insensitive." She said that years later, her and her sister realized what they did was not right and they decided to delete the video. But of course, this still didn't sit right with a lot of people. Now, when you compare that to this most recent scandal, it only gets all the more shocking. So far, Colleen has not come out and responded, but once she does, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
Once beloved YouTube comedian Colleen Ballinger, or more widely known for her character Miranda Sings, has recently faced intense backlash after being accused of developing inappropriate relationships with underage fans. A person once deemed child-friendly gaining allegations such as these is alarming, and it is important to look back at her past behavior to understand how to catch similar situations before it's too late. These are Colleen Ballinger's top 10 red flags that we shouldn't have ignored. Coming in at number 10 is Adam McIntyre's allegations. Adam McIntyre, a former fan of Ballinger, has come forward in the controversy, serving as a primary source to her exploitation and misconduct. In a video aptly named My Relationship with Colleen Ballinger, McIntyre reveals at the age of 13, Ballinger had taken advantage of his admiration for her, manipulating him into unpaid labor through false promises of a future job.
And there were so many conversations on Snapchat where she told me that once I got out of college, that this was going to be my job. And I was very delusional to think that I was going to have that. And I was very delusional to think that I was going to get income for this. And I was very delusional to think that she cared about my ideas at all, because I never got credit. I never got credit. And there are so many viral moments of Miranda Sings that I have not gotten credit for. And it was all promised that if it went well, I would get the job.
In more disturbing developments, McIntyre also shared screenshots of a group chat where Ballinger engaged in emotional manipulation, bullying, and targeting of underage fans. McIntyre also disclosed that Ballinger once mailed him lingerie in the mail, something that Ballinger herself has admitted to but excused as a long-standing tradition of sending fans gifts. Solid justification. Number 9 is her creation of inappropriate content. Miranda Sings first appeared on the internet in 2008. To an untrained eye, the character was seemingly lighthearted, who at times dealt with adult content. However, Ballinger included more than just a few innuendos in these YouTube videos, as she made references to the character Miranda's uncle attacking her and frequently mentioned X-rated films. What makes this situation so troubling is that Ballinger deliberately catered her Miranda Sings character to a younger audience. Taking on a childlike role and dressing in bright colors, she often slipped past the detection of parents and parental controls. Although her younger fans may not have always understood the topics being shown to them, there's a good chance that they'll become desensitized to the gravity of the subject matter or imitate it, especially when they see others laughing about it. At number 8, her book. Like many popular YouTubers in the early 2010s, Miranda Sings also had a book deal. The book, entitled Self-Health, is a quote, an unhelpful self-help book. The book has received its fair share of criticism for its vulgar content, with sections like make yourself feel better by making other people feel worse, wiping, and mentions of special cuddles with your uncle. I don't know if the term unhelpful really cuts it with such a strange and unnerving collection of tips.
Every page, but there's like truly a mistake on this page. So it teaches you how to draw a hot dog when it's supposed to look like a vagina. The 5th step is to add ketchup. And I wanted ketchup on the page, but we forgot to add it. And so, because I wanted it to look like a nasty vagina with blood on it, because I'm a pervert. As this book is generally aimed at tweens, many parents were not pleased after purchasing this book for their young ones, when review calling Ballinger a terrible influence for the next generation. And oh, how that quote has aged. Number 7, her treatment of animals. In a now deleted YouTube video, Colleen nonchalantly describes intentionally tormenting her childhood dog until it bit her in the face, explaining that afterwards she lied and said she didn't know why the dog bit her. This act caused the dog to be put down. A traumatic and deeply sad story, although Colleen laughs while recounting this memory, showing very little remorse for her actions, as though she believed it to be nothing more than a funny story. At number 6, we have disrespecting an unhoused person. In another now deleted video that recently resurfaced, Colleen Ballinger and her friend Todrick Hall are seen harassing an unhoused person sleeping in a laundromat. In the needlessly cruel video, the duo points a camera towards the sleeping person and begins to make jokes at their expense. Harassing someone from a vulnerable community is an explicit show of Ballinger and Hall's lack of compassion, and neither of them have yet to take responsibility for their actions. So we're at the laundromat.
Guys, watch it. Don't let this happen to you, okay? She woke up. She woke up. She's
And coming in at number 5 is her racist jokes. In a video from 10 years ago depicts both Ballinger and her sister in exaggerated makeup putting on accents that create a degrading stereotype of Latinas. This video is suitably called Miranda Sings is Racist. As well, a video entitled How to Sing Like a Black Woman made use of offensive and blatantly ignorant stereotypes of black people. Alongside this, the Miranda Sings Twitter account was home to a slew of offensive tweets making fun of Asian and black communities. The amount of racist incidents that Ballinger took part in makes it hard to believe that she wasn't called out about this earlier in her career. And coming in at number 4 is her ableist behavior. A quick examination of the Miranda Sings character will leave you feeling unsure as to whether or not this entire shtick is just an act of punching down. Ballinger's portrayal of the character has become increasingly controversial over time, intensifying traits such as her poor social skills and notorious imitation of a speech impediment. This is reminiscent of the comedic device portraying unattractive, outcast, and unintelligent characters through odd behavior and speech patterns. Perpetrating these harmful stereotypes influence how people with medical conditions that cause speech disorders and behavioral differences such as autism spectrum disorder, Huntington's disease, and vocal cord paralysis, among others, are viewed by themselves and the rest of the world. Ridiculing traits that are divergent from societal norms is not daring comedic genius deserving of praise, but instead should be acknowledged as an embarrassing part of Ballinger's history. And coming in at number 3 is her disregard for consent. The next one on our list is all about her disrespect towards her ex-husband Josh's lack of consent. There are many instances where Ballinger admits to making her ex-husband comfortable, including touching his butt simply because he doesn't want her to, and in a video on Joshua's YouTube channel titled "My Wife Put Her Hand Down My Pants" is pretty self-explanatory. The video depicts Ballinger supposedly putting her hand down his pants while he tells her to stop and is visibly uncomfortable. Both of the situations are incredibly disconcerting considering the allegations that have just come to light. And our runner-up is the annual cancer fundraiser. Since 2015, Ballinger has held fundraisers for Family Reach, an organization that supports families that have children with cancer. The legitimacy of what one may believe to be a noble pursuit has come into question after fans found that Colleen uses a third-party site, Fundly, which is not an option publicly provided by charities and organizations, to collect donations. Fundly puts the money into Ballinger's bank account instead of donating directly to the charity and has caused people to ask why she's acting as an unnecessary middleman and speculate whether she's using the fundraisers to lower her taxes. When approached about where the money is going and to see the receipts, Colleen avoids answering by saying that her haters hate that she's raising money for kids with cancer. These allegations have not been proven, however, it's confusing nonetheless. And coming in at number 1 is her glamorization of disordered eating. In many vlogs, Ballinger openly admits to unhealthy eating habits, in one video telling the viewers that she ate nothing more than a bag of chips for an entire day. Many believe that these mentions of poor nutrition are done to brag, as she's also been seen body checking in Instagram posts as well as a video entitled "My Body Before and After Quarantine." This behavior has had a direct effect on her fans. In Adam McIntyre's aforementioned video, he explained that Ballinger would often compliment him on his skinny arms and stomach, and mentions the persisting body image issues he suffers with at the hands of these comments. Although her behavior is inexcusable, eating disorders are incredibly difficult to overcome, and I hope Colleen is able to get the help that she needs.
And now Jeffree Star has jumped in on the Colleen Bollinger allegations. If you didn't know, she has been accused of inappropriate behavior towards her young fans of Miranda Sings. She was specifically called out by a guy named Adam McIntyre, who shared a video where he claimed that Colleen allegedly sent him lingerie when he was 15 years old. Last week, she lost over 40,000 subscribers on her YouTube vlog channel after Adam posted 2 more videos. In them, he accused her of trying to turn fans against him and discredit his initial claims. And now Jeffree has done a TikTok live stream with Rich Lux and Eugenia Cooney. The 3 of them discuss Colleen's presence online as well as the controversy that she's going through right now. Jeffree said he doesn't read much drama online anymore and doesn't know what is going on with her, but he says he's never met her, never followed her, and never gave a damn about her. He said, "I am horrified by the things I've seen. Honestly, I know we're all joking around and having fun, but like, that person is sick. I have never been a fan. So I was very shocked to see all of that." That's my official quote. Eugenia went on to say, "It's so scary that there are some people on the internet who are doing such horrible things. While many fellow creators have come out to criticize Colleen, there are also those people who have defended her. Trisha Paytas is one of them. She just posted a quote about forgiveness amid the ongoing allegations." If you didn't know, Trisha and Colleen both rose to fame at a similar time on YouTube, and they recently launched a new podcast together called Oversharing. In the wake of the new controversy, people have called on Trisha to say something. As it stands, she has yet to officially comment on it, but she did post a religious quote which seems to be about forgiveness. On her Instagram story, she wrote, "Always pray to have eyes that see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God." Trisha and Colleen's podcast launched in May. At the moment, they are still creating content together as a kind of partnership. Fans initially responded very well to the collaboration, but ever since these allegations surfaced, Trisha has been receiving a lot of negative comments on her end as well. From the outside, it looks as though she is continually supporting Colleen, even though she's going through the biggest controversy of her career right now. In fact, she's losing sponsors left and right. At least 2 companies who paid for ads on her podcast with Eric Stocklin have now pulled their sponsorship. The skincare company OneSkin spoke to TMZ about why they decided to end the partnership. They said, "We were made aware of this previously and have decided to cease the relationship completely. This behavior is appalling, and we do not condone or support it in any form." After that, a telemedicine company named ZocDoc also ended their partnership with her. And all of this happened in week 2 of the scandal. These allegations first came out in 2020 when Adam McIntyre, a former fan, released a shocking video on YouTube. He revealed the inappropriate and toxic friendship he had with Colleen when he was 13 and she was in her 30s. They first connected during a live stream that she was hosting with her friend in 2016. She noticed his tweets and said that he seemed so funny that she had to send him something. This is when she allegedly sent him lingerie in the mail, which his mother confiscated immediately. They then continued to have a friendship, and Colleen even asked him out to lunch while she was in Ireland, which is where Adam lives. He posted a video exposing some of these inappropriate conversations that she allegedly had with other underage fans. She seemed to manipulate and bully them into doing free labor. These conversations were all taken from a group chat that Adam and Colleen Colleen were a part of, and the evidence is pretty shocking. In one instance, Colleen was seen asking him for a photo of his butt. She also asks female fans to describe their first period and made fun of a fan who got a tattoo in her honor. At the time of these conversations, she was already in her 30s, and a lot of these people in the group chat were around 14 to 16, but she still made inappropriate comments about their physical appearance, encouraged bullying, and asked some really creepy questions. Sadly, when this video first came out, Adam was met with a ton of backlash from other fans, all jumping in to defend their favorite creator, probably because Colleen has something of a cult following that she developed over the years for her character Miranda Sings. Now, almost 3 years later, people are actually giving him the time of day to talk about what happened. Many former fans have now apologized to him for dismissing his initial claims. Instead, they've made an effort to uplift him on social media and show their support. Right now, it seems like this firestorm is enough to end Colleen's career permanently, and after everything that's happened, it's very difficult to see her coming back from this. Alright, so this Colleen Ballinger drama just keeps getting worse. There's so much that's been coming out about this controversy, it's insane. So 2 weeks ago, she was accused of inappropriate behavior towards her young fans of Miranda Sings. She was specifically called out by a guy named Adam McIntyre, who shared a video exposing the inappropriate relationship that he had with her when he was 15 and she was in her 30s. And it turns out that Adam isn't the only one speaking out against her. A TikTok was posted on June 14th by a young woman named Becky, who alleged that Colleen routinely humiliated and exploited her underage fans for entertainment in her shows. Becky opened up about how she went to one of her shows when she was 16 years old, and she was called up on stage to be a part of it, but she soon got very uncomfortable when they started something called the Yoga Challenge, which involved Colleen controlling her body for the audience's amusement. Becky posted actual footage from the show, and it's really quite horrible. She said that even though she wasn't wearing pants, that didn't stop Colleen from continuing. She said, in fact, no adult at any point stepped in this situation. And the moment she'll never forget is when she was lying under Colleen while she was smirking down at her while thousands of people were laughing. She said, "I was terrified my body wasn't covered up enough. It felt incredibly violating. I was younger, my body was still developing. For her to use my body as entertainment on stage really set my confidence back quite a lot." Becky says she doesn't consider the experience to be SA, but it did make her feel nasty and gross, like she wanted to purge and clean out her insides. So of course, it seems like it was a really horrible moment for her. Other former fans of Miranda Sings have also come forward about their experiences attending her live shows when they were teenagers, and they said they felt very uncomfortable at the time. In a TikTok video posted just yesterday, a creator by the name of Grapes shared a video of Colleen repeatedly sexualizing her outfit on stage. Basically, she put on a hat and she whacked her chest area. The whole thing was really strange, and it didn't make a lot of sense as to why she would be doing that with someone so young. Another fan came forward claiming that they no longer support her after realizing that they were in a group chat created by her with young fans. Cody Tyler, a content creator and founder of the YouTube channel Cody Rants, was a longtime fan of Miranda Sings for years. They grew close with her and her family, and in a now deleted YouTube video called Why I Left the Colleen Ballinger Fandom, Cody revealed that they were added to one of her group chats that consisted of very young fans. Although they were an adult at the time, they were reportedly unaware of all the others in the online chat, and they've since issued an apology. Cody also shared screenshots of Colleen asking fans inappropriate questions, like trying to find out whether or not they've had any sexual experiences. For his part, Adam McIntyre seems to be leading these allegations. He claimed that the YouTuber would use love bombing to make him feel special, praising him and encouraging him to run her social media accounts without pay or accreditation. Later on, she also seemed to manipulate and bully him into doing free labor. Adam first connected with her when he was 13 and she was in her 30s. They met during a live stream that she was hosting with her friend in 2016. She noticed Adam's tweets and said that he was so funny that she just had to send him something. Then she sent him lingerie in the mail, which his mother confiscated immediately. They allegedly continued to have a friendship, and she even asked him out to lunch while she was in Ireland, which is where he lives. This relationship continued for some years until Adam posted something on her Twitter account which received quite a lot of backlash. At the moment, he's still coming through with more evidence of all these allegations, and he even started his own drama channel in the midst of it all. So be sure to check out those videos as this scandal unfolds. This comes about 3 weeks after countless accusations that she formed inappropriate relationships with teenagers and emotionally manipulated her young fans. She posted a video yesterday to her Colleen Vlogs channel on YouTube where she insisted that everything that's come out about her was just lies and gossip, all while strumming a ukulele. She started off the 10-minute video by saying, "Some people are saying things about me that just aren't true. true. Even though my team has strongly advised me not to say what I'm going to say, I realized they never said I couldn't sing about what I want to say. She explained that early on in her YouTube career she used to message her fans, not in a creepy way like a lot of people are trying to suggest, but more in a loser kind of way. She says that she was just trying to be besties with everybody, though she admitted that there were times that she would overshare, and eventually she changed her behavior and took accountability. In her song, she sings, "Thought you wanted me to take accountability, but that's not the point of your mob mentality. Your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise, while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise." There's even a recurring chorus in the video where she calls the allegations about her the toxic gossip train. At another point she's saying, "I'm sure you're disappointed in my little song. I know you wanted me to say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry, and I'm not going to take that route of admitting lies and rumors that you made up for clout." Colleen insists that the only thing she's ever groomed is her 2 Persian cats. She says that she's just a loser who didn't understand that she shouldn't respond to fans, claiming all of these stories about her boil down to a fart joke that she made 5 years ago. She also addressed the idea that her childlike character Miranda Sings has said some inappropriate things for kids, despite being made for a very young audience. Colleen claimed that she makes it clear that her content is PG-13 in nature, and that it's the responsibility of parents to decide what is and what isn't suitable for their children. Looking back on her videos though, you can see that she included more than just a few innuendos. She would often make references to Miranda's uncle attacking her and talk about X-rated films. All of this was catered to a young audience, and in this way her videos were able to slip past the detection of parents. Colleen acknowledged that she made jokes in poor taste and said she made a few dumb mistakes, but she insisted that it was not her intention to manipulate anyone. Since this video came out, it seems like it's all anyone's been talking about. Adam McIntyre, one of the first accusers, responded to the apology with a simple tweet. He wrote, "As much as Colleen discredited and made fun of me, I'm glad her video did one thing, show you all exactly the type of evil woman she is, that a lot of us have experienced over the past few years behind the scenes. The mask has slipped, everyone meet the real Colleen Bollinger." And people were really backing him up in the comments, speculating about what would happen to her channel next. Someone wrote, "She's banking on her older audience to just accept what she's saying and continue. I bet she makes a huge pivot on her channel. Maybe she'll pull a Brittany Dawn and become a faith influencer." There were even people comparing this video to other infamous apology videos and arguing about which one was worse. So far we have some pretty good contenders. It seems to be between Sienna May's interpretive dance apology and Laura Lee's fake crying apology. So it's really hard to say which one is worse, but Colleen's is definitely the standout of 2023. All jokes aside, the firestorm has really been a long time coming, considering that the first allegations came out 3 years ago, and it took a very long time for them to be acknowledged amongst the massive Miranda Sings fanbase. Adam was almost bullied off the internet when he made a video alleging that she had formed an inappropriate personal friendship with him while he was between the ages of 13 and 16, which included sending him lingerie as a joke. He also claimed that she gave him access to her social media accounts and that they exchanged text messages for years. He said that she would trauma dump on him all the time, and in one of his videos he said, "I was so involved in this woman's life that it's embarrassing to look back on. There were some days on a school night I would be up until like 4 AM trying to calm her down or trying to give her advice. It was a private thing." Of course, the only response Colleen seemed to have for this is that she shouldn't have been oversharing about her life, which is not the same as taking accountability. It's tough to say where she's going to go from here, or if she's going to try to make another video to fix this last one. But the way things are looking now, it's possible that she might not even have a platform anymore.
At number 10 is her inappropriate content. When Colleen first graced the internet in 2008, her content was nothing truly out of the ordinary at first glance. However, the Miranda character was kid-friendly coded with her loud style of comedy and colorful outfits, but often made use of adult themes throughout her videos. Ballinger included more than just a few innuendos in these YouTube videos, as she made references to her character Miranda's uncle attacking her or cuddling her, various mentions of a and frequently mentioned X-rated films. Watching these videos back makes me cringe with how blatant and intense she got away with being. After the sheer amount of backlash multiple YouTubers have received from creating inappropriate content for minors, it's confusing that Miranda Sings never faced the same treatment. Although it's always the parents' job to vet whatever their young one is consuming online, I can't help but think that someone who caters their content towards them would have the foresight. Coming in at number 9 is her ableist behavior. Even more so dangerous than her subliminal adult jokes is her careless display of disability stereotypes. Many have speculated on whether or not Miranda Sings' entire shtick is simply an act of punching down. In fact, Ballinger's portrayal of the character has become increasingly controversial over time, intensifying traits such as her poor social social skills and notorious imitation of a speech impediment reminiscent of the comedic device portraying unattractive, outcast, and unintelligent characters through odd behavior and speech patterns. Perpetuating these harmful stereotypes influences how people with medical conditions that cause speech disorders and behavioral differences, such as autism spectrum disorder, Huntington's disease, vocal cord paralysis, and among others, are viewed by themselves and the rest of the world. Ridiculing anyone's amount of ability or for things they have no control over is never a great look and certainly should never be something that's highly praised. And at number 8 is the Miranda Sings book. Like many popular YouTubers in the early 2010s, Miranda Sings also had a book deal gracing the shelves at the front of Barnes & Noble. The book, entitled Self-Help, is a quote, an unhelpful self-help book, and although it's indeed unhelpful, the term barely scratches the surface of what this reading material entails. Now, promoting reading books to children is a noble gesture, however, promoting children to read your twisted and gross ideas isn't always something that gets to the top of the New York bestsellers list. As soon as the book hit shelves, Colleen was hit with waves of criticism from concerned parents, with sections like making yourself feel better by making other people feel worse, wiping, and mentions of special cuddles with your uncle. Parents deemed this book a bit too vulgar for children's content, and I don't know if the term unhelpful really cuts it, with such a strange and unnerving collection of tips. At number 7 is Colleen's history of mistreating animals. Since her allegations of mistreating people have come to light, it isn't a surprise that her energy isn't any different when it comes to animals. In a now deleted YouTube video, Colleen nonchalantly described intentionally tormenting her childhood dog until it bit her in the face, explaining that afterwards she lied and said she didn't know why the dog bit her. This decision to put the fault on the dog instead of herself was cause for the dog to be put down. A traumatic and deeply sad story, although Colleen laughs while recounting this memory, showing very little remorse for her actions as though she believed it to be nothing more than a funny story. Although I understand how some may react to tragedy in their life with laughter, something about this situation felt incredibly off. This isn't the only clip we have that makes us believe Colleen mistreats animals, as she also has pet bunnies and a dog, keeping both in very small, cramped, and dirty cages. She's made sure not to put these pets in vlogs anymore because of the backlash she's received, but hey, at least her Persian cats are groomed. Coming in at number 6 is Colleen's history of queerbaiting, which, if you aren't familiar with the term, is when people make their audience believe that their sexuality is something that it isn't in order to garner clicks. Colleen has posted a slew of YouTube videos that have been since renamed or deleted, titled things like I'm a little bit gay, I'm in love with a woman, how to tell your grandma you're gay, and my coming out story. Behaving so unseriously about this topic gives the impression that she does not have respect for people who have had experiences with coming out as part of the LGBTQ+ community. There were also instances in these videos where she thought the concept of being gay was incredibly hilarious, even though someone's identity isn't usually a great punchline, but you know, this obviously isn't her first experience punching down. Making a joke out of something that can be quite traumatic to many people is not okay, but also cashing in on clicks from clickbait about a sexuality you do not identify with and pretending to be gay for laughs is always incredibly cheap and lazy. And at number 5 is disrespecting an unhoused person. In another now deleted video that recently resurfaced, Colleen Ballinger and her friend Todrick Hall are seen harassing an unhoused person sleeping in a laundromat. In this needlessly cruel video, the duo points a camera towards the sleeping person and begins to make jokes at their expense. Harassing someone from a vulnerable community is an explicit show of Ballinger and Hall's lack of compassion, and neither of them have yet to take responsibility for these actions. I know the rest of the points on this list aren't any less disgusting, but this one is just so absurdly vile, like a type of maliciousness that you have to really think about in order to pursue. At number 4 is Colleen's disregard for consent. This next one on our list is all about her disrespect towards her ex-husband Josh's lack of consent. There are many instances where Ballinger admits to making her ex-husband uncomfortable for her own amusement, including touching his butt simply because he doesn't want her to, or getting in his personal space to irritate him. In a video on Joshua's YouTube channel titled "My Wife Put Her Hands Down My Pants" is pretty self-explanatory what may happen. This video depicts Ballinger supposedly putting her hand down his pants, which is gratefully not shown on camera, while he tells her to stop and is pretty visibly uncomfortable. Apparently, Colleen was just pulling at his skin, but it's not like that isn't any less weird or uncomfortable for viewers to witness. These situations are incredibly disconcerting considering the allegations that have just come to light. Josh has actually spoken up about this experience with Colleen in reference to her recent apology video. He says on Twitter, "This behavior was my reality anytime I spoke up and disagreed with her actions and rhetoric during 2009 to 2016. I was gaslit too. I was made to feel like I was always the problem. Any pain I felt was an inconvenience and was belittled. Every ounce of what you're feeling, I understand." Coming in at number 3 is her romanticization of disordered eating habits. In many vlogs, Ballinger openly admits to unhealthy eating habits, in one video telling the viewers that she ate nothing more than a bag of chips for an entire day, and her infamous applesauce diet that she took part in after pregnancy in order to lose the weight quickly. Many believe that these mentions of poor nutrition are done to brag, as she's also been seen body checking in Instagram posts, as well as a video entitled "My Body Before and After Quarantine." She also flaunts the fact that she can still fit into her old childhood clothes, in one vlog insisting that she squeeze into her 9-year-old niece's romper. Colleen's unhealthy mindset has had a direct effect on fans. In Adam McIntyre's aforementioned video, he explained that Ballinger would often compliment him on his skinny arms and stomach, and mentioned the persisting body image issues he suffers with at the hands of these comments. Although her behavior is inexcusable, eating disorders are difficult to overcome, and I hope Colleen is able to get the help she needs. Our runner-up is Colleen's racist jokes. A video from 10 years ago depicts both Ballinger and her sister Rachel in exaggerated makeup, putting on accents that create a degrading stereotype of Latinas. The video was suitably called "Miranda Sings is Racist." Colleen addressed this video with an apology uploaded to her channel, saying, "It is not funny and it is completely hurtful. I am so ashamed and embarrassed that I ever thought this was okay. I was a sheltered teenager who was stupid and ignorant and clearly extremely culturally insensitive. Racial stereotypes are not funny, they're not a joke, and they should never be joked about." But this was not an isolated incident. She as well, in a video entitled "How to Sing Like a Black Woman," made use of offensive and blatantly ignorant stereotypes of black people. Alongside this, the Miranda Sings Twitter account was home to a slew of offensive tweets making fun of POC communities, including one that read, "Beware of the Mexican masseuse with sharp nails." The amount of racist incidents that Ballinger took part in makes it hard to believe she wasn't called out about this earlier in her career. And number 1 on our list is about the cancer fundraiser. The point on this list that leads me to believe that Colleen's moral compass really has no way of coming back. Since 2015, Ballinger has held annual fundraisers for Family Reach, an organization that supports families that have children with cancer. The legitimacy of what one may believe to be a noble pursuit has come into question after fans found that Colleen uses a third-party site, Fundly, which is not an option publicly provided by charities and organizations to collect donations. Fundly puts the money into Ballinger's bank account instead of donating directly to the charity, and has caused people to ask why she's acting as an unnecessary middleman and speculate as to whether she's using the fundraisers to lower her taxes. When approached about where the money is going and to see receipts, Colleen avoids answering by saying that her haters hate that she's raising money for kids with cancer. These allegations have not been proven, however, it's confusing nonetheless. At number 10, we have a tweet from H3H3's own Ethan Klein. Although he just went public with his decision to go on a 3-week hiatus, which some have speculated to be the reason why Colleen decided to post the video when she did, he couldn't help himself from saying something. So I guess her effort to not receive his reaction was in vain. In a quote tweet replying to Pop Crave, which says, Colleen's now infamous quote, "The only thing I ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats," which is in context the grooming allegations, a really stupid joke, Ethan replied with a picture of the already cancelled YouTuber Shane Dawson and his poor cat, Cheeto. The Shane Dawson cat situation is one that takes Colleen's quote pretty literally. I won't get into specifics, but Shane sure did in a 2015 podcast. Here he reveals that he did some pretty messed up stuff to his cat when he was 19 years old. The audio from this podcast resurfaced a few years later, which caused people to unsurprisingly start questioning Shane about his past actions, to which he replied with a 4-part Twitter thread disputing that his words were simply a joke. What is it with these YouTubers and cat jokes? At number 9 is a tweet from the YouTuber and musician Emma Blackery. Blackery took the YouTube trending page by storm in 2013 when she released her ukulele track entitled My Thoughts on Google+. With a pretty catchy tune alongside a state of mind most people agreed with after Google bought and changed the YouTube interface for the worst, Blackery took the opportunity of seeing her fellow YouTuber partake in a ukulele rant, but one which was far less well received or agreed with than her own. In Emma's comparison to Ballinger's, she writes, "Can't all nail it, I guess." I haven't heard from Emma in years, and seeing her grace my Twitter timeline with a banger like this was a lovely way to start my Thursday morning. Her new single, Cry to Your Mother, is out now, and you can stream it on Spotify or Apple Music. At number 8 is a tweet from another fellow YouTuber, Eddie Burback. The man says in response to the apology, "I can't stop thinking about the fact that she had to sit down and make the apology rhyme," which is in context to the fact that her apology was almost spoken word poetry with a backing track, except I would not snap for it at an open mic. I don't think anyone would. The fact that Colleen, instead of, addressing her allegations promptly and seriously, or perhaps sending private apologies to the fans that spoke out against her, she decided to run with some Dr. Seuss mischief. Eddie also tweeted that the next YouTuber to do something awful should play the trombone to top this, which, listen, at this point celebrity apology videos are becoming a bit mundane, a bit everyday. I think soon YouTubers may have to start one-upping each other to get views with things like talent instead of tears. And coming in at number 7 is a tweet from Twitter user Saeed DiCaprio, who says, "What happened to having PR teams, bro?" Which is hilarious because Colleen's apology video actually commences with her saying that her publicist said it would be best if she didn't say anything about the situation, which would have been a better option than what she did do. The exact quote Colleen said in the video was, "Even though my team has strongly advised me not to say what I want to say, I recently realized they never said that I can't sing what I want to say, so here I am." Yeah, maybe Colleen, it would have been better to just go against what your publicist said not to do and make a normal apology video. At number 6 we have a tweet from Twitter user CSH Burr. They write, "To choose your fighter, Colleen Ballinger ukulele apology versus Sienna May interpretive dance apology. This comparison is obviously ranking which YouTuber anti-apology was worse. Sienna May was a TikTok personality known for making dance and lip-syncing videos like 80% of the platform's content. In 2021, allegations came out about the social media figure and her ex-boyfriend Jack Wright, who said May had assaulted him. Sienna, instead of doing what any social media star would do, post a Notes app screenshot on Twitter telling us all about her wrongdoing with big words that she didn't come up with. No, instead, Sienna decided to stick with what she knows and post a video of her doing an interpretive dance on her YouTube channel. She didn't even say a single word in the video, so I don't even think you could count this as an apology. I don't even really know how we knew it was an apology. This video has since been deleted, but don't worry, thousands of copies are still all over the internet. At number 5 comes from Colleen's husband, Josh. Josh has actually spoken up about his experience with Colleen, and in reference to her recent apology video, he says on Twitter, "This behavior was my reality anytime I spoke up and disagreed with her actions and rhetoric during 2009 to 2016. I was gaslit too. I was made to feel like I was always the problem. Any pain I felt was an inconvenience and was belittled. Every ounce of what you're feeling, I understand." Number 4 comes from Beep Boop on Twitter, who says, "I asked GPT to write a better apology for Colleen Ballinger." The user posted a screenshot alongside this where it showed that they had input, "Write a YouTube apology script that's better than Colleen Ballinger's," to which ChatGPT spit out, "Sorry for talking to minors, won't repeat, thanks." It really could have been that concise. She could have said 8 words and been better off. I mean this in full seriousness, but if she had just posted that sentence on Twitter, I think she would be receiving half the hate she's currently getting. It's wild that an AI knows how to apologize better than a person. It worries me that the robot takeover is just around the corner. Anyways, our number 3 spot comes from Twitter user HarseIsChild, who gives us Colleen Ballinger's entire 10-minute non-apology song transcribed in one image so you don't have to listen or give her a view alongside the actual transcript. The video is monetized as of right now, and it is 10 minutes. Perfect. And since it already has almost 3 million views, she's made a ton of cash for this situation. Being a controversial YouTuber is incredibly lucrative in the short term, I will say. Not so great if you want a career, but a quick buck? Sure, as long as you're okay with having your famous birthdays page tainted forever. But better not give her any more. Besides, if you just read the lyrics, you won't have to hear them alongside her one-note ukulele track that transports you back to 2014 YouTube. No need to bring up those almost traumatic memories. The good news is that the transcripts of the video have been popping up on many social media sites, which makes you aware of what she said without giving her a view, but also makes you really understand the gravity of this non-apology. And our runner-up comes from Robin on Twitter, who says, "Probably the most serious tweet I have on this list, quote, I hope Colleen Ballinger loses everything. The audacity to post that embarrassing song and pretend that she's ever actually taken accountability for anything in her life is disgusting. Minimizing the experiences of her victims by talking about jokes or mistakes from her past." And Adam McIntyre's tweet on the situation explains my thoughts on this better than I could. As he says, "As much as Colleen discredited and made fun of me, I'm glad her video did one thing, show you all exactly the type of evil woman she is, that a lot of us have experienced over the past few years behind the scenes. The mask has slipped. Everyone meet the real Colleen Ballinger." And our number 1 spot goes to Twitter user Imani Barbarian, who tweets, "LMAO, Colleen Ballinger making sure people know that she's thin in her ukulele non-apology. Really is the icing on the cake." This one really struck me as well. Colleen's direct quote from the video was, "Bring out the daggers made from your perfect past and stab me repeatedly in my bony little back." Now, did she say that for the sake of the rhythm or just to remind us that she's malnourished? Literally, it was so unnecessary to bring up just how teeny tiny she is in a video attempting to apologize for her past actions. That in itself is such an absurd sentence for me to say. This was just another show of her stroking her own ego, having the knowledge of Colleen's history of glamorizing eating disorders in many of her past vlogs, where she openly admits to unhealthy eating habits, telling the viewers that she ate nothing more than a bag of chips for an entire day in one instance, as well as her infamous applesauce diet that she took part in after pregnancy in order to lose weight quickly. She's also been seen body checking an Instagram post as well as a video entitled "My Body Before and After Quarantine," and she also flaunts the fact that she can still fit into her old childhood clothes, in one vlog insisting that she squeezed into her 9-year-old niece's romper. Oh my god, you can barely see her. Many fans were led to believe that these mentions of poor nutrition and being in your face about the fact that she's wasting away are done to brag, and this little mention in her apology really solidifies that thought. Colleen's unhealthy mindset has a direct effect on her fans. In Adam McIntyre's aforementioned video, he explained that Ballinger would often compliment him on his skinny arms and stomach, and mentions the persisting body image issues he suffers with at the hands of those comments. Although her behavior is inexcusable and badly placed in her apology video, eating disorders are incredibly difficult to overcome, and I hope Colleen is genuinely able to get the help that she needs.